Let me tell you why you're here.
Not about money.
You're here because you know something.
People should not be afraid of their governments.
But you feel it. You felt it your entire life.
God has nothing to do with it.
That you are a slave.
Oh, not tonight, Bishop.
Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch.
Let's make a bargain, shall we?
A prison for your mind.
You ask God for help?
In order to change a human being into this.
And I'll stop the moment he shows up.
You've been living in a dream world. Even to a guy like me, that's cold.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
I like this job. I like it.
You have to let it all go, Neo. Fear, doubt, and disbelief.
A more perfect stage could not be asked for.
Free your mind.
And here we go.
Began with a small, disorganized protest on Wall Street in Lower Manhattan.
Now has thousands of people joining in, and it's spreading across the country.
And in Seattle, Denver, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Boston, as well as a few other cities.
Part of the Occupy Wall Street movement.
Their message, end corporate greed, they say, is killing America's economy.
It's people taking it upon themselves to fight back against what they consider economic oppression.
Yeah.
Because we can't pay for big, expensive lobbyists to work for what we want.
Politicians can be bought. Political influence can be bought through political donations. This needs to be addressed.
Seriously?
The fucking Occupy movement was such a letdown because you seemed like me, angry, and we're going to take to the streets, and holy shit, around the globe, people are, fuck this, we're going to do something. And what did you do? You fucked up a park.
They're kind of formless and anarchic.
Don't fuck up the park, fuck up the bank. Who's in charge of this project?
There is no one leader of this group.
It's their policy to have no leader.
No one's in charge, and that's the way they like it.
We don't really have leadership. You needed some.
But what are they protesting?
They have no set plan or end goal in mind.
Most of the time is spent trying to figure out what they're trying to say and how to organize.
That's why I love like WikiLeaks and Anonymous, because they're actually in there. They're fucking with the system. They're not sitting around chanting, slapping bongos.
The lunatic is in my head. The lunatic is in my head.
You know what L. Ron Hubbard didn't have in his master plan for world domination? Drum circle! It doesn't do anything! He's sitting there, no one wants to hear that! It's annoying as shit! You had enough time in a year to learn how to play real instruments.
Oh, hee hee, ah, oh, hee hee, and I thought my jokes were bad. You look nervous. Is it the scars? You want to know why I got them? Come closer. Let's rewind the clock back 2 centuries ago. These politicians and bankers wouldn't have dared cross any of you. I mean, what happened? Did your balls drop off? You see, a guy like me... A guy like me... I know why you no longer protest in broad daylight. I know why you're afraid to stand up and fight. The illusion. The illusion has shown your masters your true colors, unfortunately. Shutdowns, recessions, and bombers. They're just the beginning. And as for your so-called freedoms, you're spied on by your government. A afraid of an invisible man in the clouds and a slave to your jobs. I know freedom when I see it.
What do you propose?
It's simple. We scare the illusion.
If it's so simple, why haven't you done it already?
If you're good at something, always bring a friend.
How much you want?
5 days.
You're crazy. I'm not. No, I'm not.
You see, this is how crazy the illusions made your world. If you want order restored from November 27th to December 1st, you must take the day off and occupy your living room. Oh, and every day that you do, billionaires will lose their minds. Every day you don't, the sword of Damocles will be held over your neck by your idiot boss, your conniving clergyman, and your psychopathic politician, all to keep you in line to further their own addictions to power.
We also need to make tax cuts permanent.
You should never have to offset the cost of a deliberate decision to reduce tax rates.
What you're trying to do is get into this Washington game, and they're funny accounting over there.
This is existing tax policy. It's been in place for 10 years. Why did it all of a sudden become something that we, quote, paid for?
Oh, the payment we need is their beautiful smile.
The people who are losing unemployment benefits have had them for a long time. It is supposed to be a temporary measure.
This was supposed to be a temporary fix.
We've gradually extended and extended and extended.
We would consider extending emergency unemployment benefits if it was paid for.
One way, he suggested, is to eliminate new health care subsidies for the poor.
I guess one solution would be raise the minimum wage.
Raising the minimum wage could be just about the worst thing he could do for the jobs market.
Wages aren't arbitrary, Arthel. They're not based on whim, they're not based on feeling, and they're not charity.
Someone fresh out of high school, they didn't get a diploma, they don't really have any basic skills. Do you think that they deserve $15 an ounce?
Why stop at $15? Why not raise the minimum wage to $100,000?
Why not pay people in cocaine and unicorns?
But are we really sure that all those people collecting their fat $256 a week really need it?
Welfare fraud, out of control. Fraud rampant in many programs across the country.
I've spoken to people who say, you know, I'm better off getting unemployment than going out and finding a job.
You know, the surfer dude in California told us, why work when the government pays me not to work?
Fraud, mismanagement, and abuse.
Trust me, milking the system, okay?
You have many, many people. I'll bet you it's a big majority of the people that are sitting back and not pulling their weight.
I'm curious, how did they apply that same reasoning when people on Wall Street were caught definitely committing fraud?
Yes, Wall Street has a perception problem, but, you know, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
And the fact that you may have a few bad apples.
There are bad apples in any situation.
You're right, there's a few bad apples.
The market will always have a few bad actors, and you find them and you shoot them, okay? But you don't kill the market.
If it's a policy that benefits the rich, then it doesn't have to be paid for, should last forever, and is good for America. But if it benefits the poor, we can't afford it, we should end it as soon as possible, and it will destroy our nation from within.
You get one life. Is that really how you want to spend it? Wouldn't you rather a world without wanton death and destruction? a world without injustice or inequality. I know. You'll say it's not possible. It's not realistic. Do I look like a guy who believes in reality? If acceptance of your so-called world means one is sane, well then everyone's losing their minds. Where the Occupy movement failed was it wanted you to go somewhere and occupy something. From November 27th to December 1st of this year, I want you to stay home and occupy your living room. If you'd normally shop, don't. If you'd normally work, call out. When store doors don't open and cash registers don't ring on the biggest shopping campaign of the year, you will do more damage to the corporatocracy and Wall Street than the Occupy movement did in an entire year. It'll be a few days to talk with those funny people you live with. Read one of those things with all the pages with words on them. I know what you're thinking, but don't do that. That's the illusion talking. That's the fear. If you can't afford to take those few days off, or your employer can't afford you, well, screw them. It's a bad business model. And your employer thinks you're less than worth a living wage. You see, I'm not a monster. I'm ahead of the curve. If someone's going to die because you don't show up to work, well, you're going to have to make that call on your own. You will. But that's not the majority of you, is it? No. You're the retail workers, the servers at restaurants, the toy makers in Santa's workshop. But don't worry, this isn't the last we'll speak. You see, old Foxy failed. And now there's me. The illusion is only as powerful as we allow it to be. It is an illusion that says this person has authority over you, or that this person can telepathically communicate with a sky daddy hidden somewhere in the clouds, or forces you to bow to this. That reality, it's a bad joke that exists only because we allow it to. I'll show you. When the people wake up, when the status quo's precious illusion gets threatened, let's just say that from November 27th to December 1st, it's not about money, it's about sending a message. And in one weekend, we'll show the world just how weak the illusion really is.